I noticed a lot of people online are saying that they did not like the reunion. People are saying that it's pointless, that nothing was resolved. I don't know if I agree with that. And I really loved that they let them argue for mad long. Like, notice that they were like arguing back and forth. Like, people in the audience were like a tennis match. And like, usually in reunions they cut it off pretty quickly, but they were like, no, that's a lie, okay, and actually let them explain why they're saying that it was a lie. Usually what they'll do is like, someone will make a claim, other person will refute that, then other person will refute it, and they'll be like, all right, well, we gotta move on. No, they had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, listen, Netflix, you guys have all the time in the world. You don't need to rush. There's no commercial breaks, okay? You don't have to rush them to wrap it up. Let them finish what they say. Like, we all here, we all spent all this time watching your show, all these hours invested. I will say that all the outfits, everybody came. I will say Ashley's outfit was the only one I didn't like. And I made this meme that I thought was hilarious. When they were all walking in, this is like freaking seconds into the reunion, and I was like, I literally stood up, I was like, what is that?
Oh my god! What is that?
Her makeup was flawless. Like, the smoky eye and the bob and the flipped bob, like, it pulled her face forward in like this very beautiful way. Like, this is actually one of the few reunions that I will say that they literally all showed out. They all showed out. Brittney, I don't know. Well, Brittney's dress, don't get me wrong, it looks nice, and it definitely shows, you know, her new girls. I mean, she had girls already, but the fresh, updated girls, I just felt like the dress was a bit too on the nose from her, but you know, whatever. You like what you like, so you wear what you like. Everybody else, Alex, Hannah, Marissa, Ashley looks great too. First up, shall we just get into it? First up on the docket, you know, this whole drama going on with Tyler and Ashley. I wasn't too confident about what was going to happen here. I really wasn't. But I'm not surprised. I was not surprised with how she defended him. It was very cringy. It was very weird. You know, for a while it seemed like a lot of people felt bad for her, and I felt bad for her, and like, oh my god, like, this guy is just terrible, and he lied, and you know, he abandoned his kids, which is literally still true. He literally abandoned his children. And last night I had briefly, when I was making some food to watch for the reunion, I briefly signed on TikTok, and Storytime with Riki was on there, and she was actually having a live stream with the baby mama's mother, and the mother just seems so like he definitely messed them up, man. They're just like so upset and disappointed with how he's behaved. This is all alleged, okay? This is all alleged. This is just based off what these people have said, what the mom has said, the wife, the ex-wife, all these people, what they've said, you know, that he was in the kids' lives for 6 years? 6 years, and then ghosted them the day before the show, right after he got back from Mexico with Ashley. He just started deleting his Facebook, deleting all the pictures. That is fucking next level. That is next level. They tried to come up with this whole narrative about how they planned it and that they lied to protect the privacy of everybody, and you know, he just said it was sperm babies, and she's up there, you know. Someone said, I don't remember who it was, if it was Jessie Wu or whatever, somebody said that she's in marketing, and I'm like, oh, okay, so she was in her marketing public relations bag handling this, you know, saying that they plan to, you know, pretend that the kids didn't know, and that, you know, I'm sure by now, you know, she knows, but probably not all those extra details. But I don't know, like, I kind of said it on my other TikTok about what I feel about the situation, and I kind of want to just let it play. I have a lot more videos
So the fact that Tyler has not spoken to his baby mama or his children, according to her, since the day before he left to shoot Love is Blind, pretty much tells us that him and Ashley got married, and therefore he found himself in a bind, and that he had to keep living up this lie that he was telling her that his kids don't know what he looks like. He had nothing to do with raising them. He was just such a good person who, out of the kindness of his heart, decided to donate his sperm to a couple in need who simply could not afford sperm donation. Which, by the way, sperm donation, was it like $1,200? You know, you could probably find it as low as $400. I don't think that was the situation at all. I think that it was like, oh, I know you, you're a friend, helping out a friend. Like, would you do this for us? Yes, I do it. Or maybe he even volunteered himself. This is just my opinion, my thoughts. I'm not saying this is actually what happened, but it doesn't make sense, the whole they couldn't afford it type thing, because you can literally get sperm for as low as $400. And even still, there are apps that you can sign up for to find a donor locally. Like, you can't tell me that there's not a man, probably thousands, probably millions of men who would willingly donate to someone. They would willingly do it, and they do it every day. But we can be pretty certain that him and Ashley got married, and I'm sure you guys by now have all seen the videos with his baby mama coming out and telling the whole story. And I mean, this this is not even tea. This is not tea. This is motor oil. Okay, this is freaking Hennessy, boiled Hennessy. Okay, hot. You imagine Hennessy boiled? This is what that is. Like, I really want to know what his plan was. No, actually, I do know his plan. What his plan was to lie, get Ashley into the relationship because he didn't want to let her go, or maybe he didn't want to let the Love is Blind fame, the fame wheel, you know, people who go on the show are known for several months after it launches their social media careers, especially the couples. People want to follow couples. We see how YouTube and TikTok couples do well after a reality show, the Love Island people. He didn't want to have to give that up, and so he got Ashley hooked in to the point of no return. The fact that this man could look at her father in the face and shake his hand as he's crying and tell him these things is actually really scary. Like, it's actually diabolical. Like, this is top level manipulation, and this is honestly like a form of trapping, honestly. Like, he trapped Ashley into a marriage, lied to her, manipulated her, deceived her, tricked her, hoodwinked her, led her astray. Okay, we're going full Malcolm X. Led her astray to get her into this relationship to a point where she would have hell to detach, you know? And this is kind of like the Risa Tisa situation, because we remember seeing her at the wedding, you know, saying like to herself, looking at herself, I knew you'd get there. I knew you'd get there. And you remember when Risa Tisa's situation started with her husband, she said that she thought it was her turn. Like, she just wanted it to be her turn. And unfortunately, that's what I think is happening with Ashley. She wanted it to be her turn. But it's just so sad. It's so sad all around. Like, it's, you know, we're sitting here laughing, but, you know, this is like a really effed up and humiliating situation. And honestly, like, I'm long since tired of watching black women be embarrassed on these shows. Like, I'm literally sick of it. Like, we can't have a happy ending. Like, we can't have good things. And like, him as a black man getting on television and disowning his own children for another woman or for fame for any reason. Like, the optics of this is so bad. Like, this is so bad. Like, was he not thinking about any of that? This dude straight ghosted his children. 3 kids. And now his baby mama, in her, you know, exposing, goes and says that she's fighting legally to get the child support that her and her children are owed. So now Ashley has to deal with him paying child support for 3 kids as they're trying to start a life. I don't know. So apparently also the reunion was already filmed. So they're probably going to address this in a minimal way on the reunion. We're not going to get the full story because the baby mama just put the videos out last night. So we just learning about her side. So it's not going to be addressed at the reunion. So I'm hoping that Ashley isn't by him by now, but he's clearly a trap lord. So who knows? But hopefully she can divorce this guy and walk away unscathed before she further gets herself intertwined with him. But this guy is just completely despicable. I don't know how the casting director, how did this get past you? It wasn't just Chelsea. Casting is not just one person. Casting goes through many, many, many people. And a show like Love is Blind has a lot of people that you have to get through in order to get on this show. So at this point now, watching Love is Blind, I'm always assuming that after the season ends, or while it's running, that a whole bunch of stuff is going to come out about the people. I think all of us are expecting that at this point. But the question is, do we like that? I mean, we're here talking about it, right? We're watching about it. We're going crazy. Like, it's interesting. We're laughing. It's tea. It's motor oil. You know, all that stuff. Do we like that part of the show? I feel like the Love is Blind producers feel like we do. And so that's probably why they keep doing it. So yeah, that's all I have for now. Would love to know what you guys think in the comments, because this situation is effing crazy, and I hope that Ashley gets out of this. I hope for her own sanity, because the fact that this man could betray in such a way is like a spit in the face. You know, I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him to fucking cook me up, fry me an egg, okay? I wouldn't trust him to do anything. Like, I personally, and I don't know how she could, would never be with a man that I gotta look over my shoulder about, that I always gotta watch, that you gotta follow up behind, that you gotta check his phone, that you gotta double check he ain't lying. Like, get rid of him.
I still stand by everything that I said in that video. If he didn't trap her into a marriage and she claims that she knew, he trapped her into getting into a relationship with him without telling her that he had kids. He hid the kids from you for all that time. Did y'all sleep together before he told you that? That's scary. Him ghosting his kids and abandoning his kids when they're 5 and 6 years old, she's okay with it. And she, on the show, complained, both of them did, about growing up without a father and how it affected them and how it affected the dating, how it traumatized them, and they don't want to be that person. This is literally like, this is some psychology shit right here. That is some psychological, what do they call it, repetition compulsion, where when you repeat the things that you went through as a child in this situation, like your father abandoned you, and so then you have kids and then you abandon them, and then they might do it again to their, but it could go either way, right? Like someone could be abandoned and they say, oh, I refuse, and they do the opposite. But the fact that, you know, he did that and he ghosted them, like she's okay with it, and that's really scary. It definitely gives, you know, Hillary Clinton standing by Bill Clinton, standing by her man. You know, that's given Nicki Minaj defending her husband who R-worded a woman in the 90s, you know. For every horrible, dusty ass guy, there's a woman enabling it, behind it. Well, it doesn't matter if she's okay with it. He's still gonna have to pay child support. Court case supposedly is coming up soon, 2 weeks. Whether he wants to say they're his kids or not, he gonna pay for them like they're his kids. You just married a man who gonna have a child support check for 3 kids hitting his bank account every month. That's fucking scary, bro. I don't care how emotionally. You know, my ex said something to me one time I will never forget. Honestly, he ate. He ate when he told me this, okay? He said, I don't ever want to be in a relationship with somebody no matter what. He ate with that. He literally ate with that. And that, he must have said that to me 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, and it stuck with me ever since. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you're with someone no matter what. No matter what they do, you're going to be with them regardless. No, can't just do whatever you want, lie, cheat, steal, abandon, you know, cut off your kids, neglect. It's very sad and it's very gross, and I can't believe that she stuck up for him. And there was that point during the reunion where, you know, she's explaining the whole master plan, where she's like, yes, and I know him better than all you all know him. And yes, due to his childhood of being neglected by his father, he wanted to step up and help out a little bit with the kids. And he's sitting there like this. And she's just explaining it all for him. And he's just sitting there like a child in a freaking parent-teacher conference. And he's quiet. And his mom's there. Well, he's getting these bad grades because his father didn't leave him. And he did this. He's a good kid. He's a good kid, Miss Nancy. He's a good kid. He's a good man, Savannah. Like, she's just explain. I'm like, are you going to let him explain it? He's the one that it is freaking doing all this stuff. He's the one that got y'all up here looking crazy, and you're up there like explain away, and she gonna believe everything that he says over everything his child's mother is saying, and the child's mother's ex-wife who was there. It's just so heebie-jeebies. Definitely give you the heebie-jeebies. You know, the whole situation definitely felt like the whole like Risa Tisa, who did I marry, except mainly the fact that Risa, one of the most you know, notable things that she said, which I made a video about my opinions on the Reese Tisa situation on my channel. She said that she thought it was her turn, you know? You think it's your time, you want to get married, you want to have a family, and the person who is there at the time, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna just make it work. I personally would not trust Tyler to fry me an egg. As I said in my TikTok, I wouldn't trust him to hold a door open for me if I was walking behind him. I just would not trust somebody who could lie like that. And then, like I said, now he has this burden. It's not like these kids are older. These are very young, very young kids who he's gonna now have to pay child support for the next 14 years. Each child, you know, whatever. We all gotta learn in our time. I mean, I hope she doesn't have to learn. Hopefully this whole situation makes him turn over a new leaf, makes him change. Jessie Woo on her YouTube channel, she had a lawyer on and they pretty much exposed him so bad. You know, so many evictions, you know, he's got the child support, he's got people saying he owed them money. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Now, I don't know. I personally don't agree with like going to the court case and expose and all that kind of stuff. Like, and now at this point, there's nothing more to expose because she's with him now. So she's not gonna dump him now. They probably like, all right, this reunion's over. We just 2 weeks and the public will forget about it, which they will. But now you got to think about, you're on social media. If you ever post him, for the rest of your life, your comments is gonna be like, "Where the kids? Has Tyler seen his kids yet?" Oh, that was the other thing when they showed a year of them together and they showed them at Christmas in the matching pajamas, and then the Christmas before he was in matching pajamas with his kids, and now, God, shivers, shiver me timbers, like literally gives me the creeps that someone could lie like that. I was raised by a single father, you know, so I was really close with my dad, so it would be so, yeah, it was just bad. It was bad. I feel bad for Ashley. I feel like she has lied to herself. She's like actually believes it now, like she's deluded herself because she just wants to be married so bad. I was in a relationship before that went on for too long just because you just wanted the relationship, but now I'm an old spinster. I don't know. It's just not worth it. If that's what's out there, no thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. All right, so Taylor and Garrett. You know, I don't really have too much to say about them. I feel like they are, you know, a boring married couple, which I think is probably the best thing you could be. Like, if you're married, you want to be the boring married couple. They seem like they have good communication. You could tell they have sexual chemistry. You could tell that they really just like being around each other, that they're best friends, and that, you know, that they're also independent people, but they also come together, which I'm like, you know, that's good. Like, that's nice. They're both scientists. They did the equations. Y equals mx plus me and you equals MC square, you know, that kind of equation, whatever, is good. I don't have much to say about them. Like, I wish them the best. Everybody's talking about his glow up. I mean, she said that it's all him, that he had a passing interest in fashion, and that being with her made him actually want to take care of his appearance and look good for somebody. And I'm like, love that. Love that. He wants that look, you know, he wants that like fashionista couple. They look good. They're in shape. So, yeah, good to them. I'm glad. Hannah and Nick. Okay, so this was Hannah. Why couldn't she just say she was sorry? Why couldn't Hannah just say, I'm sorry? I'm sorry, Nick. This is not to talk about whether what she said was true or not, right? She probably said a lot of true things, you know? He is obviously a man child, right? It's kind of obvious. He lives in his parents' house, which I don't think there's anything wrong with living in your parents' house, okay? I wish I could live in my parents' house right now. But he lives in his parents' house. His parents pay his phone bill. He doesn't do any chores, okay? His mom does all the chores in the house. He says he cleans the litter box. He doesn't feed the cat in the morning. His dad feeds the cat. So he feeds the cat dinner and cleans the litter box. That's all he has to do. Okay? Which is nice. Don't get me wrong. I was spoiled for many years. Okay? So this is not a judgment. But I don't think he should have been on here. I don't think he should have been on the show with all these people who are, established their lives. They're out. They, live on their own. They live with roommates or whatever. They have jobs. They're trying to get to that place. And, like, he just didn't seem like he was there. He couldn't even boil pasta. He didn't know how to boil pasta. I will say, though, one thing that has pissed me off and frustrated me is people keep talking about how he thought the pasta was in the fridge. Okay, am I the only person that eats refrigerated pasta? If you go into the dairy aisle, buy the cheese, or even in the deli, in the supermarket, they have the refrigerated pasta. That's the best one. I don't know. I'm gluten free now, so most of my pasta is dry. They make refrigerated pasta, and if his mom is as much of a cook as he's saying she is, she's probably using refrigerated pasta. Okay, him thinking it was in the it was in the fridge is one thing, but him not even knowing how to boil water, that's like, I don't know. I think this is a cultural problem. This is not just the tale of Nick. This is a cultural problem. But anyway, I think Hannah should have just said that she was sorry. I mean, she said that I was a bitch, but she didn't actually apologize. Like, she just said, I stand by everything I said, like, and the way I said it should have been. No, there are certain things you just shouldn't have said. If you had to stick into the relationship because of your love is blind contract or whatever, then do that. But telling him that you turned him from a boy into a man, telling him, oh, I remember things. I can give you examples. I know you can't give examples because you don't remember anything. I don't want to say the word I want to say, what I think she is, but because it gets overused too much. But it was definitely given that. All right, honestly, the word I wanted to say was narcissist, so that's why I'm just going to say it. And that whole thing about Hannah being mad at Katie for a year, who's been trying to do all these things to make it up to her, and Hannah with that, I trusted Katie. That little smile, smirk thing she did was so freaking creepy. I don't know if you guys saw that smirk on her face when everyone started jumping on Nick. Like, the camera panned to her for a second and she was just like looking down, and she had this duper's delight smirk. And basically, duper's delight or cheater's high is a physical and emotional rush that people feel when they've successfully lied or cheated and believe they have done so without harming others. You'll notice this kind of reaction if you ever watch like serial killer interviews and shit. They'll tell a blatant lie and then they'll have a smile. They literally cannot hide it. And she just had that creepy smirk. And then Marissa became a flying monkey for Hannah. Now I'm getting a bit deep into narcissism terminology here. And narcissism and narcissistic terminology. A flying monkey is basically a carrier pigeon or like an attack dog that a narcissist sends after people so that they don't actually have to do the dirty work. It's like part of a campaign of, like, let's say assassinating their target, right? Assassinating their target's reputation. They will tell lies to people. They will tell stories to get everyone to hate the person that they're targeting. And the way that Marissa, who, she obviously has like a outspoken, like out, personality. And so she came down hard on Nick, screaming at him. Other people are involved, and Hannah is just sitting there smiling and smirking the whole time. So yeah, she just couldn't say that she was sorry. She was rude, and then all the stuff that came out about him calling her a grenade, which I don't know if any of my younger followers know where that's from. That's from Jersey Shore. That whole situation, and then him too, not being able to admit that he did it, wasted a whole 8 minutes. Like, just say that you said it. Just say, she's clearly worse than you, but you could have just said it instead of having all these people saying, yes, you said that, yes, you said that, yes, you said that. Steven saying like, yeah, he said it. And Steven was probably like, listen, I ain't trying it. I'm not standing in the line of fire for nobody. And he's like, yeah, he said it. And then it wasn't until Ramses said, listen, man, just admit it. And he was like, all right, fine. People not being able to admit when they're wrong. But those two, Hannah, oh, please do not put Hannah on Perfect Match, man. I have a feeling they probably will. Do not put her on there. I would like to see Marissa on there. Okay, these two were there. AD, I love her energy, her vibe. Like, she's very TikTok. Like, she definitely has, like, the TikTok vibe, and so do I, too. Instagram vibe, internet vibe, but I don't think she added anything. Like, you guys, you want to have alum there? It would have been nice to have people who would actually, like, give feedback, right? On the 90 Day Fiancé reunions, they usually have previous cast members come and like give feedback, give pushback, or what, you know, commentary and stuff like that. You know, I saw somebody on TikTok saying that, you know, what does Marshall do? Like, all he does is talk about Love is Blind. He's probably being paid by Netflix or Kinetic Content to talk about the show and promote the show. When you see these shows, a lot of times when you see previous cast members who keep talking about the show, talking about it again and again, it's because they're paid to promote the show. They're paid to talk about the show. The Bachelor is very well known for this, but I didn't really see the point of him. AD, the other girl, Nancy, I didn't see, maybe showing the other couples that are still together. If they wanted to just have someone be like, hi, hello, oh yeah, you know, if they just wanted to have that, then have that. But they should have had somebody that maybe gave some pushback or like commentary. Marissa and Ramses. Okay, so I'm not as mad at Ramses as everybody else is. I think that he did Marissa a favor. He didn't like her. I mean, it's not good that he obviously let her on for a while. That's not good, but I'm glad that he broke up with her. He wasn't feeling it. He didn't like her energy, her personality. Maybe he could have worded it better, but he said that what he said was that he knew that if he stayed with her that he would be exhausted every day. And, you know, that was just mean. That was mean to say. He could have said that better, but he could have just been like, you know, I think that she's an amazing person. I think she's a beautiful person, but I just feel like our essence, our beings, like it just would not have matched. And I wouldn't have wanted her to change who she was, and I wouldn't have wanted myself to change either. And I think that I was so caught up with the initial feelings and initial rush and infatuation that I mistook, you know, love and like wanted to be married. You know, I just got caught up in it, and I'm sorry. I just gave a free fucking game. No, I get it. He seems like he's more chill and laid back, and Marissa's just like, I would also say probably low effort, and Marissa's like, where's it going? What are we doing? What he does, you know, that in addition to the other stuff that she's going through, her health issues and stuff like that. But, you know, her mom was there. Her mom's the thug. Her mom is a thug, okay? I love her mom. And she was just like, you know what? Marissa was going to carry this relationship. And I'm glad that you did the right thing by breaking up with her. Thug mama got it. Thug mama got it, okay? I'm not as mad at him as everybody else is. And I still feel like even here you could see how hurt Marissa is. And she did say she had ADHD. And I know my people, okay? I know my fellow people. I think that there probably is an infatuation that just... It's part of ADHD. Like, you just get hyper fixated on things and hyper fixated on people too, like the people that you're with. She's just someone who just loves hard and loves deeply, and she also might be a no matter what type of person. Like what I said earlier, my ex said, you don't want to ever be with someone no matter what. I think she would have been with Ramses no matter what. You know, she made a comment that also made me a little bit uncomfortable too, where she said that she would be willing to be unhappy for 5 years or 7 years or something just to keep her marriage together. And he was like, what? I too was like, what? Like, I mean, obviously relationships ebb and flow. Sometimes you're in love, sometimes you're not, you know, you're just friends and you're super, you know, it just kind of ebb and flows like that. But she was willing to do all that. I think she's like the rest of the camp of a lot of people who just wanted to be their turn. You know, she thought it was her turn. It was not her turn. But I will say that Ramses, like, I kind of felt bad for him at the reunion because he was very quiet. He looked terrified. Like, he was like this the whole time. Like, he looked like he was really going through it. And people have really been dragging him and probably harassing him directly online, which is like, I will never understand. It's one thing for me to be talking to my audiences like, hey, you guys, like, this is how I feel. Like, why did they act like this? Like, we're part of the media, right? I don't consider myself a journalist. Listen, I'm just a commentator on film, television, pop culture, right? I'm just a commentator, a yapper. But these shows need people like us talking about the show in order for them to be as popular as they are. This is very much a mutual relationship between the show, content creator, fans. It is a mutually beneficial relationship for everybody involved, right? But why the fuck are, I'm not saying y'all, hopefully my viewers are not like that, but why are you all, you people that are doing this, why are you all going on their page, typing their name in, going on their personal Instagram pages and leaving them nasty comments? Why are you doing that? If I see some drama going on, whatever crazy, I probably will go on their page just to lurk if I'm bored, whatever, be nosy, whatever. But I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna look. Why can't you guys just look and move on? Or even worse, the people that go into their DMs, that's fucking weird. I've always thought about this. If I was one of those people, I would hire someone, like, or I would pay a family member, a friend, to literally block every single one of those people. I mean, he had a couple things to be dragged because he thinks that he's like so progressive and he's so like for women and equality, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like it is kind of performative in a way, but he don't deserve to be harassed. He doesn't deserve people reaching out to him and sending him stuff directly in his DMs. Stop that shit. It's fucking weird. It's harassment, literally. Tyler, supposedly the baby mom's mom that was on the live that I saw last night briefly, she said that he was threatening to her that he was going to himself. You know, these things have real world consequences. Like, people need to stop doing stuff like that. You know, hopefully he doesn't do that. I also want to add that when I had my lion crazy super duper lion ex, he used to say that a lot too, that he was going to do that as a manipulation tactic. But that's not here nor there. Just don't go to these people's pages saying stuff. Leave them the hell alone. Hannah, she says she's gonna work on herself. She knows she has a lot to work on. Girl, you have a paradigm shift. I don't know. Maybe Netflix, well, that is a part of their contract. Like, Netflix enforces them staying together. But if you're forced to stay together with him, y'all should just do the minimal amount of filming. You don't have to keep kicking the man and telling him how much of a worthless loser he is. She's definitely going as like down as like one of the Love is Blind super villains for sure. Okay, Brittney again. You know, there's only one thing that I see when I look at this picture. She's fresh out the lab. You know, she looked gorgeous. I did feel like her dress was a bit on the nose, the pink Barbie. But if she likes it, I love it. I was surprised that she said that her and Leo are like best friends and they talk for like an hour every day. And Leo had his little rant about, he's someone I just genuinely don't understand. And I usually understand people, but he is someone that I genuinely just don't get. I didn't understand him. I don't really understand why they didn't choose to follow these two. It seems like they probably would have broke up very quickly. This was another couple I just did not understand. Steven and Monica, they really seem like oil and water to me. Like, I was calling them the sex freak and the prude, because that's just how they're like. If I had to put them into like two tropes, that's how they come off. Like, I just didn't understand that relationship. Like, that definitely seemed like a last minute, all right, we got to do something. We're going to get engaged. Like, I just did not see the chemistry between them. I just did not see it. And it very quickly crumbled. He was texting, you know, his freaky deaky text messages, his fetish text messages. That marriage would never have lasted. It would never have lasted. If you already got to get freaky deaky with someone else 2-3 weeks into your relationship, into your monogamous relationship, they were so incredibly opposite. I just could never see that. He said that at the reunion that he wrote an apology letter to Monica's family, apologizing to them for what he did. And then she's like, he told the crowd, and Monica was like, I knew you just said that. I knew when I got this letter, you just said that, you just sent the letter so that you could tell everybody at the reunion that you did it. I was like, I don't know. I felt like that was a stretch. Like, I wasn't feeling her too much. I didn't really feel her on the show, I ain't gonna lie. Their scenes were like, if I was someone who fast forwarded through stuff, they would be a couple that I would fast forward. I wasn't feeling them. Yeah, finally we have Alex and Tim. There was a point when Tim was going on about, well, and then you didn't do this for my parents, and then you didn't come over, and then I did this, and then I did that, and then one of the girls in the audience was like, oh my god, he's whining. And like Marissa's mom was like, yeah, he is. Like, he really did. He literally went on a rant, just like, I don't know, man, just saying all kinds of stuff. Like, he should have saved that for after the reunion. Like, maybe come on YouTube and just give his side of the story, or go on a podcast and give his side of the story or something like that. It would have been better if he did that, and then he just, like, I don't know, kept it cute, kept it cool at the reunion. Their argument, it was very he said, she said, but it was like very like nit, like little tiny details. Okay, the whole thing with her going to sleep, okay, that's a fucking issue. Okay, yeah, we can talk about that. But like, it'd be like, you sent this text message at literally at this time in the morning, and then you came home at this time at night, and then it was just like, what is going on here? I don't think they actually genuinely liked each other either. Like, they also seem like a mismatch. Like she is more flippant, she's more carefree. Everybody's always talking about how her bedroom looked. She probably should have had somebody clean that, but I can't talk. I literally cannot talk about her bedroom. I hope everybody who was talking about how her bedroom looked can actually have room to talk, okay? Messy girls, we need help in this world, okay? We're overlooked people. We're not real women, okay? We have problems too, okay? Messy girls need help too, okay? Look, my eyes is getting glassy. Messy girls need help too. I'm turning my acting bag on. And scene. They were not a good match. He was whining. I don't think she was all the way in the right either. I think she was just very flippant. I think she just didn't care. I don't think she particularly cared about the relationship. But I think that he also really resented her. I don't think he liked her at all. I don't know what he was trying to do. I feel like he has this image of himself of like how he wants to be perceived and portrayed. He seems like he's a very highly anxious person. It takes one to know one. A very highly anxious person that's possibly anxious about looks and perceptions, and maybe that's just a result of being on a reality TV show. It's going to make you hyper aware. But one thing I really criticize him for is he did not have to read her father that letter and make him cry and all that stuff, especially when he wasn't sure. I don't know, is that Netflix's time? Like, okay, on episode 7 you gotta ask for the hand in marriage, you gotta do that. He should have just asked. But you reading a letter talking about, I'm your daughter's protector, I'm gonna look after her, I'm gonna hold on to her, I'm gonna treat her like a queen, you ain't gonna have to worry about her with me, to a man with a debilitating illness? Why would you do that? He did not need to do that. He could have just said, you know what, I want to take care of your daughter, I really care about her, I really love her, and I just want to ask your hand. That's it. That is it. I don't think it was also the sleeping thing. I don't think it was a big deal. She had to work that night. They went out late or whatever. She was with his parents all day. She wanted to take a nap before she goes to work, where she was going to be there till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's just such little tiny nitpicking things that, like I said, I feel like he's a high anxiety, high strung person. Being with someone who's like, whatever. Like, he might be like a type A personality, you know? And she's like type B, you know? I guess that would be the best way to describe it, like a type B personality. So, end of the reunion, they showed some people from the upcoming next season. These are some of the people. You can't really trust Love Is Blind. Who knows if these people even get married? They might just have been in the pods or whatever. Part of the storyline, who knows? That's all I have for y'all. All right, make sure you put a like on this video, please, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed, okay? Share this with your Love Is Blind loving friends. And I will catch up with you guys in the next one, all right? We have new videos coming soon. If you haven't seen my American Psycho video, the reboot coming, Joker review, and my Nicole Kidman is in everything. Why? Why? Nobody knows. Anyway, check them out. I'll catch you guys very soon. See ya.